G'day folks, Wren here, and it is time for August's TBRGate with some Orilium. So it is August, time for another TBRGate, and I gotta be honest, this is my second time filming this, because when I filmed it about a week ago, I just got so stressed with it. I wanted to commit to so many readathons happening in August, and then the TBR just kept getting longer and longer and longer and longer and longer. So I was stressing. My TBR video was not good because you could tell that I was stressing, and it was just a bit of a kerfuffle. So I decided to refilm it, and I need to refilm it now because this has to go up tomorrow. So in July I did a special round of TBRGate where it was special for my birthday. So yeah, it was a completely didn't matter what happened type of month. I said that, you know, I wasn't going to do any hive ships. I wasn't going to be hard on myself. I wasn't going to force myself to read any of the books. And I took that to heart. I think out of my TBR, I read one book and I didn't like it very much. I tried to read another one, but the translation that I got, it was not good. So I'll have to postpone reading that. And then some other ones I just decided to unhaul, because if you saw my touring little free libraries and street libraries, I got rid of a lot of books recently, and I'm still very much in the mood of I want to get rid of so many books, and I don't know what's happening. I'm hoping that my depression isn't affecting my love of books. I don't know. So many books have gone, and many more will probably go as well. So my July TBR didn't super happen, but I was doing a lot of mood reading in July and it was really fun. In particular, well, you can't see it, it's just above here. I read The London Seance Society at the beginning of the month. Utterly loved it. Probably my favourite read of the month. It was so good, and I just want more books like this. So if you know of any books that are similar to this, please let me know, because I want to read it. So mood reading was a thing in July, and luckily, because I have said that I want to try and be kinder to myself with my TBRs, because July was a special month, I'm not going to put any hive ships on the places that I didn't read. So no hive ships. I'm not going to tell you specifically what I read and didn't, because I mostly didn't. Reading is a little difficult right now, but I'm trying to continue reading. Anyways, in August, many things are happening. So there is Orilium, obviously. I'm super excited for Orilium. The prompts this semester aren't as fun to me. I'm just having a thing with reading lately where I'm just like, nothing is inspiring me. I am again doing my 2 career paths. So I'm doing my apprentice level of Beastmaster and my novice level of Wildform Druid. We'll see if I give you both TBRs at the end of this. I'm not sure. We'll see how this goes. Then there is the Full Moon Readathon, which I really wanted to participate in. I made a TBR for it, and then I was like, no, I'm feeling stressed. So I don't know if I can commit to that as much as I originally wanted to, but I do have a few books on my TBRs that would fit for some of those prompts, so we'll see. Then there is Meredith's 48-hour readathon casual thing. I'm very excited for that. Luckily, I don't have to have a TBR. I can just read books within the 2 days, which is going to be really, really good, and I'm looking forward to that. And then there is the final book support group, round 8, maybe? I get confused with the numbers, but I'm always looking forward to final book support group. It's such a fun time, I really enjoy it, and oh boy do I want to complete some series. So I'm not going to give like an official TBR for final book support group, But I will say there are a few books that I have in mind that I want to read. So we have Wonderstruck by Ali Theron, which will complete the Magic in Manhattan series. Prayer for the Crown Shy by Becky Chambers, which will complete the Monk and the Robot duology. I'm looking forward to that. Really hard not to read that immediately after I finished the first one, but I was saving it for Final Book Support Group. And The Shadow Arts by Damien Lowe, which will, I think, complete the duology of Monstrous Devices. I don't know if it is a duology or not, but there hasn't been a new book in like 3 years, so I don't know. Then there is, of course, a couple other little things I want to get done. Potentially Sync Volume 2, because I loved it. To continue on with Death Note, so I think I need to read Volume 3 because I didn't get to that in July. And potentially the third book in the Camilla Devereaux Naughty Divorcee series by Calypso Hart. Those are kind of what I want to read. I don't know if they're official or not. I'm really just going to try and read what I want to read when I want to read it. So before I get into my TBRGate spins for August, I am going to officially announce that I am no longer going to be doing my Demon Trap TBR, which was a TBR game that I came up with based off Supernatural and using the Supernatural Tarot deck cards. It was a really fun TBR game and I did enjoy doing it, but I am not in a good space right now, so adding an extra element every month, it was too much. I'm still going to be doing TBRGate, but I needed to just take a bit of the pressure off. I needed to not have a second TBR every month, and I needed to not have a specific video I had to do every month. So I am no longer doing that. I'm sorry to all of you who enjoy it. I also enjoyed it, but it's just too much. There may be more TBR games in the future. We'll see how my mental health goes. But no more Demon Trap. Anyways, I have babbled long enough. Let's get into my TBRGate for August. Okay, so this is how the board looked when I left off in June, because we're completely disregarding everything that happened in July, because July was a special month, because it was my birthday. At the end of June, this is how it looked. I had these 2 Science Save the Day tokens available because I thought that 2 more books that I read in May would be 5 stars. That didn't happen, so I don't have those. But in June, I did read a 5-star read, so I get another Science Saves the Day token. In June, I did not complete 1 glyph. So I'm going to use my Science Saves the Day token to swap out my pick. So I had picked Fingersmith for female dominant, and I'm going to swap out that for Other Ever Afters, which is very female dominant and it's sapphic and all that good stuff. So I will use the token to swap those, and then that means I get another ZPM. So this is what the board is going to be looking like for August. So our puddle jumper is there on Zeo. So let's go for our first spin in August. 3. So the first glyph I landed on was Tannin, with the episode for that being The Last Man, and the prompt being futuristic or time travel, one of those things. This is a really interesting episode for the McShep fans. Hi, I am one of them. Because John gets sent 25,000 years in the future? He gets sent into the future. There is a hologram of Rodney that helps him get back to his own time, because Rodney literally spent his entire life figuring out how to save John from this time travel, accidental time travel thing that he was doing. Love it. Such a good time. I have missed my sci-fi recently, so we're going for a sci-fi. So the book I have chosen for this is Hovercar Racer by Matthew Riley. This is a book that is very much as the title says. It's about a race featuring hover cars. You know, what more could you want? There is also things in here. Where did it go? Oh, in here, there's like maps of the races and then of the hover cars. So cool. But yeah, it's very much a car race, except the cars are hover cars. Like, I honestly don't know what more to tell you. Oh, it's also a retelling of Jason and the Argonauts. Never knew that until Max told me, and then when I actually look inside at the synopsis, it literally says Jason and the Argonauts. But yeah, I don't really know what to say about this, and I'm gonna be honest, I don't think I'm gonna give much of a description to most of these books because I don't have the mental capacity to be able to do that right now. But I'm gonna read this. I'm really looking forward to it. I like Matthew Riley's writing. It's always really entertaining and very fun. Max also really enjoys this, so I always kind of want to read what Max reads. Alright, spin number 2. That's kind of right on the line, but for funsies, let's just say it was 16. The next glyph I landed on was Haysmill, with the episode for that being The Shrine, and the prompt for that being a reread. The Shrine is a beautiful episode, very heartbreaking as well, because Rodney is infected with a parasite that gives him the symptoms of dementia. He starts losing his memories, not being able to feed himself or dress himself, and it's so heartbreaking, but David Hewlett does an amazing job. The prompt for that is reread, which is awesome because when I have redone, like I redid all of my shelves recently with this unhaul, and I actually had a space on this bookshelf, which is my favourites bookshelf. I had a shelf free, and I was like, you know what I'm going to do with that shelf? I'm going to make that my reread shelf of books that I know I really want to reread. And there was a book on there that I didn't realise I wanted to reread until Max and I were going through all of my books, and I had so many Peter Pan retellings, and after a while he was like, do you actually want to read these retellings, or do you just want to reread Peter Darling? I just want to reread Peter Darling. So I'm going to reread Peter Darling by Austen Chant. This is such an amazing book. It is a Peter Pan retelling, obviously, with Hook and Peter romance, which is awesome. We have a trans-masc main character. There is this kind of viciousness to this Peter, which I really enjoy. And I need some queer Peter Pan in my life. Like, make me feel better, Peter Darling. Please. Oh my god, I literally just understood why it's called Peter Darling. It's his name. Alright, spin number 3. Getting plenty on the line. Again, for funsies, let's just say 11. Then the third glyph that I landed on was Amityville, with the episode for that being Tabula Rasa, and the prompt being mystery or thriller. I love a good memory loss trope, and that is what happens in Tabula Rasa. The entire Stargate Atlantis base comes down with this very typical sickness within the Pegasus galaxy, but because they don't have any like antibodies against it, it affects them very differently. So everyone loses their memory. They're all very paranoid because, like, fair. And then Ronan and Taylor have to be the ones to try and, like, coax these people through this illness and save everyone before they all kill each other. It's great. I love it. So, mystery or thriller. This was really good timing because there is a book that I've wanted to read, and it's been on my TBR trolley for a while now, and that is The Whistling by Rebecca Netley. I heard about this. Oh my god, is that a woman? Oh my god, it's a woman. I just thought that was like the filament, but it's a person. So cool. I heard about this on Lianne's channel from Literary Diversions, and I think she said it was like one of the scariest books she's read, and I was like, oh yes please. Oh, her name's Elspeth Swanson. What a great name. She has taken the position of nanny to a family on the remote Scottish Isles. Nice. Scotland. I love Scotland. The charge Mary is a troubled child, distracted and secretive. She hasn't uttered a word since the sudden death of her twin, William, just days after their former nanny disappeared. It sounds like it'll be really cool. Oh, that writing is huge. I can get through this. I am really looking forward to this. I want to be spooked. I want to have emotions. And Scotland. Alright, spin number 4. 6. The 4th glyph that I landed on is Sabido, with the episode for that being Reunion, and the prompt for that being Cultural Diversity. Reunion is a great episode. It has a lot to do with the Cetidan culture, which is why the prompt is what it is, because Ronan meets up with some friends from Cetida that he thought were dead, and, you know, like, they give him this new tattoo. They all have a specific Cetidan military tattoo, and they have this kind of fight that is very culturally significant to them, and it was really, really interesting. So hence the prompt. So the book I chose for this is Sorry Bro by Talene Vashkuni, because that's what it's about. It is about this woman who just broke up with her fiance, and her mother convinces her to look into this Armenian American cultural festival type thing, and to hopefully be able to, like, find a husband through that. Turns out she much prefers another woman on the tour than she does any of the men, and it goes through a lot of Armenian American culture, as well as a bisexual awakening and queer love. Spin number 5. 4. And we landed on a hive ship. And it was also a chevron. So that means gotta pick 2 character cards, which I'm actually not too mad about. I kind of want some variety. Zelenka! Cute. Next one. Oh, Neum. Interesting. Also interesting combination. Okay. And then I landed on a chevron. And that chevron just so happened to have a hive ship on it. So I have to read 2 books to complete this prompt and to remove the hive ship from that chevron. The first character card that I got was Radic Zelenka. I love Zelenka. Oof, Zelenka's the best. So the prompts for Zelenka are no universal language, a translated book, many a pun, a light-hearted book, and fan favorite, a hyped book. I felt like I desperately needed one particular prompt here, which is the light-hearted prompt, because I need that. So for the light-hearted prompt, I chose My Love Mix-Up Volume 3 by Wataru Henokure. Sorry if that's wrong, but this was kindly gifted to me by Zoe from Book Reviews with Zoe. Yes, sure, her channel. I always get her channel name wrong. But thank you so much, Zoe. I appreciate this so much. Oh, I can't wait to read it. So this is about, he likes her, but he thinks that she likes him, and he thinks that it was him that likes him, not her. It's very kind of confusing a little bit, but it's so cute because actual feelings start to happen, and it's so cute. I love all the friendships between everyone, and I'm just really enjoying this, like, it's just kind of like this wholesome setting, and it's really cute, and I love it, and I can't wait to read volume 3. So thank you so much, Zoe. So the next character card that I picked up was Neum. Neum is a replicator, and he has a complicated story because he has a little bit more emotions than the other replicators. He kind of becomes friends, but then they have to, like, get rid of him anyways. So the prompts for Neum are: there be some problems, previously DNF'd, talking tech, an audiobook, and froze over, a white cover. I could have gone for a few things with this. I definitely wasn't going to pick previously DNF'd because I'm not doing that to myself while I'm feeling like this. but for this I decided to go with an audiobook. So for this I chose A Prayer for the Crown Shy by Becky Chambers, which is the second in the Monk and a Robot duology. I recently read the first one a couple days ago now, and I really enjoyed it. I didn't think I would, because I actually had previously DNF'd that. Interesting. But I reread it and I read it slower and I paid more attention and I really enjoyed it. So I'm gonna pick up the second book. I don't know if the second book follows the same characters or not. I don't know, and I actually don't want to know anything about the second book. I just want to go into it, because all I knew from the first one was a tea monk and a robot. That's all I knew. So I don't really want to know too much about the second one, but I am very much looking forward to this. Spin number 5 again. 14. Then the 5th glyph was Hamlinto, with the episode for that being Midway, and the prompt for that being BIPOC dominant. I think I say this every time I get this episode, but I need to rewatch Midway, because it is just Ronan and Tilk stuck on the Midway station, and there are a bunch of Wraith that have infiltrated the Midway station and are trying to get to Earth. So it's just these two badasses trying to save Earth, and it's awesome. So just like I keep saying that I need to rewatch that episode, I also keep putting this particular book on my TBR and not reading it. So I just need to. And I don't know why I keep not reading it, but I got to. And that is Black Trans Fairy Tales by S.T. Lin. This is a bind-up of the 3 books: Mermaid, Cinderella, and Beauty's Beast. So these are all fairy tale retellings, but black and trans. And I think they're all also just, you know, trans joy as well. And I feel so bad because I know that there are a few people who have actually bought this book, or some of them, and they've read it purely because I mentioned it once, and I was like, oh, that's awesome. I really need to read these. So I'm going to put them on my TBR again. They sound awesome, and I'm always interested in trans stories, and especially BIPOC trans stories. So needed. And also I can't get over the cover model for Beauty's Beast. I mean, come on. Stunning. Spin number 6. 8. Another hive ship. Lovely, lovely. And then spin number 6, of course, I landed on Ciberon, which the episode for that is Harmony, and the prompt is a middle grade or YA fantasy. My least favourite genre, and it has a hive ship on it. Because of course it does, of course. So I need to read 2 middle grade or YA fantasy books. So the first one is Dragonvine, which is a How to Train Your Dragon little comic. It's so short, I can't even tell you who drew it. Was a script by Dean de Blois and Richard Hamilton. Art by Doug Wheatley and Francisco de la Fuente. So, there we go. I don't know what this is about, but it's How to Train Your Dragon, and I'm obsessed. This is also super short, so it'll be great. Next up is Custodians, which is book 2 in the Wheeler the Kuri Warrior series by Jordan Gould and Richard Pritchard. I read the first book, Guardians, 2 months ago, and I had such a good time. This is a great middle grade fantasy story, and there's a bunch of artwork in there which makes it fun. There's a, oh my god, look! Oh, it's the bunyip. I love the bunyip. Oh, it's so good. This is set in the time of the megafauna, so kind of like at the beginning of humanity in a way. And it's set in Australia, so this is a First Nations story. It is inspired by First Nations history and culture. It's so good. So in the first one, Wheeler's village people and their animals were all taken by dragons, and she is kind of on a quest to save them all. And to do that, she has to become the Kuri warrior. And to do that, she has to collect these totems that release these magical megafauna creatures that can help her with this fight. And I assume she's gonna keep fighting the good fight and being awesome, and I'm so excited. And throughout the book, in the first one, and I think I just saw it, yeah, in here, there are little notes down the bottom sometimes that will translate some Kuri words or will give a bit more context to the real life First Nations culture that this is based on. So it's super interesting, really fun time, and I am looking forward to this. Alright, well, will hopefully be our last spin. 13. Not our last spin, because we've already landed on that space. So, spin again. 12. And then the last glyph that I landed on was Rectic, with the episode for that being Adrift, and the prompt for that being a non-pretty cover. I love Adrift. It's such a good episode. So in Adrift, Atlantis has left Lantia, and they are on a course to somewhere else. And during that trip, Atlantis gets a little banged up. She's not looking her best. And so the team have to get Atlantis working again so she can complete her journey. And so because Atlantis is very banged up, I chose the non-pretty cover prompt. Now, this is very much just what I don't find particularly pretty in a cover, but the book I chose for this is End Papers by Jennifer Savran Kelly. It just isn't my particular taste in book covers. There ain't nothing wrong with it, I don't vibe with it. This book was chosen for the Last to Read book club pick for August. I'm pretty sure it was August, otherwise I'll be reading this a month early or something. I don't know. The Last to Read book club is a really fun little community, and it is hosted by Mel, Ellie and Lana, and I will leave all of the links for that down below. It's a great little community that we've built there, and please come along and join in the fun times. And I don't really know what End Papers is about, but I'll read you a little bit of the synopsis because it sounds good. A queer book conservator finds a mysterious old love letter, setting off a search for the author who wrote it and for a meaningful life beyond the binary in early 2000s New York City. That sounds interesting. I mean, mainly because it's queer. I enjoy that. And maybe about books? They work at the Metropolitan Museum of Art. Oh, so cool. But yeah, it sounds like it could be fun, and I will give it a go. I'm sorry I don't have more to tell you about it, but I don't want to know too much about it. That is TBRGate. Now we will do Orilium. I think I'm just gonna do Beastmaster TBR and not Wildform Druid, because I'm not feeling great. So, I'm gonna try and do this quickly, get it done. So first up, for Beastmaster, I need an O in Elemental Studies. And the prompt for that is Earth in the title. Now, I kind of struggled with this a little bit, but thank Max, because he was like, what about this book? And I was like, oh my god, I actually did want to read that. So I will be reading The Journey to the Center of the Earth by Jules Verne. This is a classic, like, adventure story. I don't need to tell you about it, but I have been intrigued to read it, so I'll give it a go. Then I need a Q in Animal Studies, and for the O prompt, that is a pet pick, which was super cute to do. I've never done a pet pick with Chopper before, but he did so well. So I got him to choose between a bunch of graphic novels and comics and manga, that type of thing. Chopper! You get it? Oh, good boy. All right. Garlic and the Vampire. Good job. The Goodest of Boys picked Garlic and the Vampire by Bree Paulson. And this was lovingly gifted to me by Sasha from Sasha Reads. Thank you, my darling. You're the best. I adore you. So cute. And this is just, oh, it's so cute. It's just like a village of like vegetable people. And it's so cute. If you have noticed that my nose has gotten redder and redder throughout this video, because I think I'm having a reaction to a candle and it is so itchy. So I'm not having a good time. But this book is so cute, and the art is really adorable, and I just want to have like a good cozy time with this. They're just so cute. Oh my god, is that a Brussels sprout person? Adorable. So cute. Really looking forward to reading this. So thank you, Chopper, for picking it out. And then the Q prompt was a debut book, so for that I'll read Sorry Bro. And I've already told you kind of about it, so it's fine. Then for Alchemy, I need an O, and the prompt for that is a first book in a series. I was a bit hesitant about this because like I don't really want to start any more series this year, but there was a manga series that I wanted to start, and that is Fire Force by Atsushi Okubo, who is the mangaka of my favorite, Soul Eater. So good. So I've been keen to read this for a while, and I finally got it from the library. It's large, but it is an omnibus, so there's the first... how many is in here? Oh, the first 25 chapters. It's pretty large. I don't really know what this is about, and I kind of don't want to, but it's like firefighters who can control fire? I don't know, but it looks really cool, and I do really enjoy Atsushi Okubo's art style. So, oh my god, was there a little firefighting dog? I think I'm gonna have a good time. And then for Restoration, I need a D. So for the first prompt is to start a book before bed. That could literally be anything, but I'll put Hovercar Racer in for that, because I will have the audiobook, and I do like listening to audiobooks before I go to bed, so I'll do that one. So the second prompt is to read a book in a different place every time you pick it up. This was a bit of a challenge because I couldn't just pick something really short that I would read in one sitting, and I couldn't pick anything too long that I would have to find multiple different places to read from. So I kind of went in between. I got a long graphic novel, and that is Solutions and Other Problems by Ali Brosh. This was recommended to me by Mel from a book fiend named Mel, and she recommended it to me because I like trauma and emotions, which wasn't a thing I knew until everyone started telling me, and I was like, oh, okay. But yeah, I do enjoy emotions, unless they're mine. So I don't really know what this is about, and I kind of don't want to, but the art in it looks funny, and I think I could definitely have emotions while reading this. I'm just like, I don't know what's happening, but okay. Anyways, yeah, I'll give it a go. It is quite chunky. I did not expect that when I picked it up. It is a graphic novel, so it should be relatively quick to get through, but still long enough that I could read it in different sittings, so I'll get that one done too. Okay, and the last prompt for Restoration is a random letter generator. So, get up a spinner wheel. You know what's annoying? I just returned a book from the library and the title is X. But I can guarantee I don't have any books that start with X, so we're gonna spin again. Force. F, F, F. F. Ooh, I got one. Okay, a book beginning with F. Finder. Volume 1 by Ayano Yamane. This was kindly gifted to me by Tracy, so thank you so much, Tracy. I am very much intrigued by this. I didn't realize that it was explicit when I put it on my wish list, but it is. So this is a manga. I'm not going to show you any of the art inside because, oh boy, it is explicit. But it seems to be about, is it a private investigator? I don't know, a freelance photographer who is kind of stalking this guy that he was taking photographs of. And the guy is a crime lord, and things happen between them. But I do enjoy stalking as a kind of like horror trope. I don't know how I feel about it in a more romance way. We shall see. I'm not going to hold up all the books to show you, but that is the end of this TBR. It took a while, and you know what's annoying? I still have a whole other pile of books that I will be reading in August for my Wild Form Druid TBR. Fun! There's a lot of interesting books on my TBR, so I really hope I can get to them and kind of just enjoy books again. Not that I haven't been enjoying books, I really have, but I've been enjoying books randomly instead of on purpose. So I would like to enjoy books on purpose again. I don't really know what that entails, but let's find out. That is it, and thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!